Hey, Presley. Don't you think it's time to update your mother on the details? I'm so eager to know everything. Tell me everything.
Hey, Mom. Details about what?
Your wedding. You're marrying such a good catch. I'm excited to hear how the planning is going. Whatever you've already chosen, let me know. I want to hear about it all.
Oh, wedding stuff. Well, about that, I have some news.
Oh, how exciting. It feels like just yesterday. You were still my baby going to school. And now look at you. I can't believe you're getting married to the company president's son. Have you found a venue yet? A garden would be lovely, especially in the spring. Oh, I know. Maybe you've picked a grand estate. It would be perfect for your fairy tale wedding. To think that my own daughter gets to have such a lavish wedding. I'm so proud to be your mother. I'm so glad to know that all those years I spent raising you weren't for nothing.
I know you're so excited for me, and I hate to let you down like this, but we broke up.
What? You two aren't together anymore?
Yeah, we broke up last weekend. We thought it would be best for both of us if we separated.
Last weekend? And I'm only hearing about this now.
I'm sorry I didn't tell you sooner. It's been a bit hectic lately at work, so I kind of forgot to give you a call or something.
Wait, hang on. Can you just back up and explain this to me? Like, what do you mean you two broke up? Wedding planning can be really stressful, so it probably got a little overwhelming for you two. I'm sure it was just your usual lover's spat. Nothing too serious. It's probably not worth breaking up over, right? Don't tell me you two really broke up. You're still going through with the wedding, right?
We aren't together anymore. We split up, going in different directions. To put it plainly, we broke off the engagement. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but the wedding's not happening anymore.
What the heck happened? What is the meaning of this? You could have had it all. You could have married into such a rich family, but you threw it all away. Are you insane? How could you make such a stupid decision?
There were a couple of reasons why we broke up. It's kind of complicated.
Well, you better start explaining it to me right now. I deserve to know. I already told all of my relatives. I told everyone that you were going to be the wife of some hotshot company heir, and that our families were going to join together. They all know. What am I supposed to tell them now? They'll think I made it all up.
Mom, why would you run your mouth like that?
Forget about that. I won't accept this. You need to make up with him right away. Get back together with Paul.
I don't want to.
You ungrateful brat. Children should do as their parents say.
Mom, why are you acting like this?
Don't you think you've made me angry after spouting all of that ridiculous nonsense? It's only natural that I'd act like this. You better beg him to get back with you.
You're just overreacting.
I don't really need to go that far.
I'm not going to do that. Moreover, this was a mutual decision. Even his parents have accepted it. What's your problem?
Well, I can't accept this. You think I'll let this slide so easily?
Huh? I told you Paul and I decided this together.
No, you two are getting back together. Do you hear me? You can't pass up this golden opportunity to marry into money. Until you two make up, I won't let you come back home.
Mom, you're being too much.
Presley, oh my gosh, I heard from Mom. Did you really get dumped by Paul? That's so awful. I can't believe he would do that to you. How could he be so heartless?
It wasn't like that. It was more like we parted amicably.
Amicably? I don't buy it. You guys were engaged. There's no way you two would just casually break up out of nowhere without a big fight. That's impossible. And he's the son of your company's president, for crying out loud. Oh my gosh, your life is totally over. You're going to lose your job, your reputation, and your future. How are you going to survive?
You're just being dramatic. It's nothing like that. Everything will be fine at work.
I don't understand how you can be so calm about this. Your whole career is at stake here. You know how ruthless the corporate world is. They'll find any excuse to fire you or demote you, especially now that you've broken up with Paul. He's the heir to the company, and he has a lot of influence and power. He could ruin your life if he wanted to. And even if he doesn't, his father might. He probably hates you now for hurting his son.
That's not true. Paul and I are still on good terms. We respect each other as colleagues and friends. And his father is a reasonable man. He won't hold a grudge against me for something personal.
Yeah, right. You're so naive. You don't know how these rich people think. They only care about themselves and their money. They don't care about anyone else's feelings or well-being. They'll use you and discard you as they please. You should have known better than to get involved with them in the first place.
What are you talking about? We had a genuine relationship. We didn't get together because of his status or wealth.
Oh, please. Don't lie to yourself. You know you only got with him because he was the only decent guy in your company. And by decent, I mean rich and handsome. There aren't many options for women in your field, right? It's mostly men, and not very attractive ones at that.
I liked him for who he was, not for what he had.
Oh, I just thought of something. If you got dumped by Paul, and he's single and ready to mingle again, should I shoot my shot? Maybe I'll be his next fiancé. If I manage to snag Paul, then I can be his trophy wife.
What on earth are you talking about?
Why not? You two are over, right? So you don't have any say in who he dates next. And it's not like you have any feelings for him anymore, right? So why should you care if I go after him? He's a catch, and I'm not letting him go to waste.
How can you say that? He's your sister's ex-fiancé. Don't you have any morals or loyalty?
Oh, come on. Don't be such a prude. It's not like you two were married or anything. You were just engaged for a few months. It's not a big deal.
It is a big deal. We were planning to spend the rest of our lives together. We had a bond that you can't just erase or ignore.
Well, too bad for you then, because it looks like he erased and ignored it pretty easily when he dumped you.
That's not funny.
How can you laugh at my pain? Oh, lighten up. I'm just joking with you, sort of.
You're unbelievable. You're the worst sister ever.
Oh, stop being so dramatic. Presley, this is a bit sudden, but I'm just letting you know that you're forbidden from entering the house ever again. From here on out, you're not allowed to set a single foot inside. You can never, ever, ever come back here.
What? That came out of nowhere. What happened? What did I do?
I'm cutting you off.
And why is that? By chance? Does this have anything to do with me breaking off my engagement to Paul? Are you saying that you're still mad about it and that you're disowning me?
That's part of the reason, I suppose, but it's mostly for something else.
What do you mean? What is it?
Oh, you foolish girl. Actually, Paul and your sister decided to get married.
What? Seriously? Rihanna is really going to marry Paul?
And when that happens, you're going to be Paul's sister-in-law. Oh my, this is hilarious. I feel bad for him. His ex-fiancée is going to be his sister-in-law. That's why I'm disowning you.
Wait a second. Are you being serious? You're really going to cut me out of your lives like that?
Do you really need me to spell it out for you? Come to think of it, you've always been a bumbling fool. I remember when you were in elementary school. You ran the relay one time. Even though you were in first place, you stumbled right before the finish line and blew it. And when you were set to get a high score on your SATs, you ended up failing because you got a fever the day of the exam.
Why bring all this up? What are you getting at?
All of this is to say, ever since you were little, you've always been a hapless fool who attracts nothing but bad luck. This is the perfect opportunity to finally get rid of you.
Mom, you can't do this to me.
I have no use for a daughter that would pass up the chance to marry into money. You would have wanted for nothing if you married him, but you threw it all away. Stupid girl. In times like this, I'm glad I gave birth to an extra daughter.
You're the worst. How could you say that to your own daughter?
I'd say getting disowned is worse. Get out. You ruined your chance to marry into a rich family. When your sister becomes the president's trophy wife, I'll have no use for a dimwit like you.
Since I'm the company president, I doubt that would ever happen.
What? What are you talking about?
If that's really how you feel, then go ahead. Do what you want. Disown me if you have nothing else to talk about. We're done here. I don't think Rihanna will ever become the company president's wife, but congrats on the wedding, I guess. Can you convey my congratulations to my dear sister for me?
Hold on. Let me get this straight. You said that you're the president.
Yeah, that's right.
What? Why are you only bringing this up now? This doesn't make any sense. You just broke off the engagement. You should be the company pariah, and your company is run by Paul's father. How could you be president?
Yeah, that's true. Paul's father is the current president. There's no way that little old me, an average company worker, could become president. But you're wrong. I was named next in line. I'll be the president once his father steps down.
Are you kidding me? That's impossible. I don't believe it. There's no way that my unremarkable dime-a-dozen daughter will inherit a successful company like that. Paul is his son. He's the one that should inherit the company.
Just because he's the president's son doesn't mean he'll be the next one for sure. Well, nepotism does occur in some companies. There are some companies that truly value hard work and skills of their workers.
You can't be serious.
The current president, in other words, Paul's father, terminated the employment of his own son, and then he appointed me as the next president based on merit.
No, it can't be.
Paul was leeching money from the company account. His father probably had an inkling of what he was doing, and once he looked more into it, he found that Paul had even embezzled quite a bit of money from the company. He flipped out, and then immediately after that, we were all notified that he was terminated.
Oh my gosh, no way!
After that, he even called me over to his office. He told me to call off the engagement with his idiot of a son right away. What else could I do? It was the boss's orders.
But why did you end up becoming the next president? You are his son's fiancé at one point. That's a bad look for the company. And you're just an average employee. This doesn't make any sense.
I was far from a lowly employee. I was the vice president.
You were?
How could you possibly not know any of this about me? I got hired back at that company after I built up my own startup company. It got bought out by my current company, so I was made vice president. I've been featured in a bunch of articles as an outstanding woman in my field. You need to question yourself as a mother for not knowing this.
You? A good example? As if. You flub everything you do.
And that's what I was talking about when I said some people are promoted by merit, because the president values real skill and dedication more than anything else. He said he felt better about entrusting the company to me rather than his pea-brained son. And that's why he personally appointed me as the next company president. Do you get it now?
So you're saying that even if Rihanna and Paul get married, it's meaningless? Our hopes of her marrying into money and joining together with such a prolific family are all ruined? This was all for nothing?
I have no use for any of my things at the house. Feel free to toss it out. Oh, Mom, by the way?
Yes?
It's too late to take back any of the things you've said to me about disowning me. I promise I'll work hard as the next company president. I'll make you proud.
You're so cruel. How could you do this to me? Why didn't you tell me that Paul was fired? If you knew, you should have told me right away.
I'm not a psychic. I had no idea you'd be a scumbag and get married to him after we just broke up. Be grateful that I at least told you before your wedding. I told Mom, and I figured she'd tell you right away. But I guess I made it just in time right before you seal your fate. I heard you just couldn't wait, could you? I saw you went down to the courthouse to get married in front of a judge.
What do you mean she already knew?
I'm not surprised. But don't you think it's horrible that Mom was going to wait until after you got married to tell you the big news? She probably would have told you right after you said I do. Well, at least now you know. You're pretty lucky you found out when you did.
Lucky? You call this luck? I'm all out of luck.
Oh, don't say that. You're being dramatic.
Why are you doing this to me? Are you mocking me? Like you said, we're legally married now.
What? Did I get it mixed up? Again, not a psychic. All Mom said was that you two were going to get married. Not that you practically ran like the wind to go and actually do it.
Well, that was a long time ago. The original plan was to have a wedding, but after some thought, we figured there was no use in waiting.
I don't know what to tell you. I love how you're blaming me, not your scumbag husband, for keeping this from you. Or Mom for knowing and not saying anything.
Oh, Mom! How could she screw me over like this? She's probably so out of it that she forgot to tell me. She's going crazy.
Oh, It's that bad, huh?
She never told me, although it was kind of an impulse to get married the way we did. I had to do it before he dumped me on the sidewalk like yesterday's trash. I just didn't want to end up a washed-up spinster like you.
Who the hell are you calling a washed-up spinster?
Why is this happening to me? We literally just got married. There's no way they would let me divorce him so easily. I even asked Paul if we could get a divorce. And you know what he said? He was like, "Nope, no way. I don't want to be alone and all by myself." He just wouldn't agree to it.
It's probably because he got disowned by his father. They're probably not on speaking terms anymore, and he's definitely not getting any financial support.
Ugh. This is utterly ridiculous. I just wanted to be the president's trophy wife. Is that too much to ask for?
He can crawl his way back up the ladder if you help him out a bit. If he's able to become the president, you'll get what you wanted and become the president's wife. But wait. You'd first have to help him get rid of this giant pile of debt.
Debt? What debt?
Paul's father was kind enough to not report him to the police, but in exchange, he made Paul promise to repay him in full within a year. That includes all the funds he embezzled from the company and the money he stole from his father's savings.
In only 1 year?
By the way, the amount is $80,000.
$80,000 in 1 year? That's impossible.
Well, good luck as that man's wife. You're going to need it.
Presley, what do I do? Dad disappeared. I don't know when it happened, but all of his things are gone.
He probably left because you two got divorced.
What? Divorced?
Oh, you're being serious. Did you really not notice?
What are you saying? What is this about a divorce? I don't understand what you're talking about.
Dad got fed up with you and got a divorce. He told me that he couldn't stand your nagging and complaining anymore. He said that he already submitted the divorce papers. It looks like he's having a blast living alone at his new place.
He turned in divorce papers? What papers? I never signed anything. I didn't agree to any of this.
Oh, but you did. You don't remember. I was sent a picture of the documents, and sure enough, it's definitely in your handwriting.
What? That can't be. How did this happen? And how am I supposed to keep living if your father isn't here? I'm just a housewife. I have no other job. I have no way to support myself.
Did you forget that you disowned me? So, you see, we're not family anymore. That's not my problem.
Excuse me?
Don't worry. I'm sure you'll be fine. You still have Rihanna, don't you? Like you said before, good thing you gave birth to an extra kid. In times like these, aren't you glad that you gave birth to an extra daughter?
Sweetie, do you still have a grudge about what I said that one time? You know I didn't mean it.
You won't ever see me nor Dad ever again. Don't you worry.
No, please. Please tell me where he is. I need to see him.
Who in their right mind would tell you? By the way, Mom, looks like it's just you, Rihanna, and Paul, the new man of the house. Good luck living together in that hellhole. After I hung up on Mom, she finally faced the grim reality. She was trapped in that house all alone without Dad. Shortly after, Rihanna and Paul came crashing through the door. They both cried at my mom's feet, begging her to help them pay off Paul's debt. But they were out of luck, since my mom had accumulated her own heap of debt because she believed she was about to join a wealthy family. She had spent a fortune on the wedding preparations, buying expensive dresses, jewelry, and other decorations. She thought she was investing in her future, but she was actually digging her own grave. In the end, their combined debts amounted to more than $100,000. The three of them each worked at different part-time jobs. They barely scraped by with enough money to cover their debts and their basic needs. As for my father, he was living his best life, enjoying his new freedom and happiness. Back at my construction company, sales had skyrocketed. Now that idiot Paul was out of the picture, I could run the company the way I wanted.